Hi, my name is Alesha Brown, also known as the Joy Guru, and I'm originally from Hampton, Virginia, born and raised here. A little bit about me: I'm an author, I'm a blogger, also a radio co-host. The organizations that I help and assist in planning events for, there's a lot of them. One that I would say on a regular basis that I plan events for would be the Newport News chapter of the National Association of Professional Women. The four top steps I give for event planning: number one, know your audience. Number two, plan for imperfections. Three, work your connections. And four, have fun. One, you have to know your audience. You have to know the reason why you want all these people to assemble to your event. And then you have to know what you like them to leave, or the takeaway they'll have from your event. That is so crucial, because as you come with the challenges and obstacles and all the things that can go wrong as you're putting this event together, the reason for the event is what's going to inspire, going to motivate you to keep pressing forward through those obstacles. Again, you've been to an event before where everything was horrible. So those are a few things that you know when you plan your event, you don't want to do that. Two, that's why it's so important for you to work your connections. And one of the things I tell people, for instance, you have a photographer for your event. Have two or three. No, I don't mean you need to pay 2 or 3 people to come to the event, depending on the size and the type of event and what you want to capture. But if I know I have 2 or 3 people on call that I can always refer to, if the preferred photographer backs out, I have a backup plan. So you need to have those people. And here's a tip. You might have, let's say, a cousin, a friend, a relative that you know that can provide the same services, but just not quite on the professional quality that you want. If that person can do 2/3 or 3/4 of a good job, keep that person's name in your mind. Because when that person that you hired backs out, and maybe a second or third person you have in mind has a conflict with their schedule and they can't make it, you might need to pull that additional resource in a cousin or friend that has some ability, just might not be quite at the level that you want. Also, while you're working your connections, it's important that you continue to build your connections. Go to different events for whatever it is you're doing for that event. If you're a wedding planner, make sure you're attending local bridal shows. Make sure you're constantly going to webinars or different online events where you're educated on the different things of that area. That way you're staying in constant contact with new people, finding out the latest trends, and making new connections. That way, when you have your next event, you have an additional person in your Rolodex that you can contact to actually serve at your next event. Third thing, have the perfect plan for imperfections or failures. We all know that things can go wrong, and more than likely they will. So you have to plan. What if the caterer I hired is not available? Or what if they mess up and I asked you for chicken and fish and you come with turkey and ham? You have to plan these things. Sometimes something can happen where they tell you at the last minute, I'm sorry, I just can't do your event. Do you have someone else on call that is able to come through, offer a similar menu or maybe an alternative menu, and also carry your event? That's important. Venues, and this happens a lot. You can have your venue planned and you've scheduled it out so far in advance, and they will call you the week of or 2 weeks before and say, I'm sorry, something happened, we can no longer host your event. You have to have multiple events, multiple venues in mind, and also have certain venues where that's not my preferred place, but I know at the last minute I could host the event there. Because you may have to do that sometimes, and you have to do that a lot of times. And then fourth, and to me one of the most important event planning tips, have fun. Because as things go wrong in the evening and there's little hiccups, and it's easy for us as the event planner to just overreact. Because we had this perfect plan for everything to be perfect, 1, 2, 3, and everything was supposed to happen just like this, and you're going to mess up my whole event if this doesn't happen. But you know what? If you're laughing, if you're just blowing it off, if you're having fun, most of your guests don't even notice. And the reason why is because whether you have canapes or lilies or roses, or you have all white roses or this bottle of wine, that's not the purpose of your event. That's the accessory. That's part of the ambiance, and that is important. But there's an agenda, there's a goal for this event. That's the driving force. That's what you keep in mind. If you use those 4 main tips, along with others, your event will be successful. The top 3 personality traits of a successful event planner, I definitely say someone that knows how to delegate. You're never going to be able to do everything by yourself, and it takes a team. Number 2 is a person, I guess the second character trait you would say, is someone that knows how to roll with the punches or isn't easily stressed. Because there's a number of things that can go wrong. There's a number of little pieces to put together. So you need to be a person that doesn't overreact on every single detail. And number 3, a person that is creative or innovative. There's a lot of different ways to do the same thing, and especially when things go wrong or when things change at last minute notice. You have to know how to improvise and pull things together and still get them done. So always thinking outside of the box. How important is research to planning a successful event? Well, there is a saying that says, without knowledge, without vision, the people perish. So we all have a great idea of the way we think things should be done, but as we know, life is dynamic. Things are constantly changing. Look at technology. So there's always current trends, there's always industry trends. So you have to stay on the cusp of what's currently going on. You can plan an event that in your mind is successful, but if somebody just went to the same type of event somewhere else and they were doing all these great dynamic things, your event might pale in comparison. So you don't want to have a dated event because people 20 years ago did that, and you just haven't done the research to keep current on how an event should be successfully ran today for that particular interest or that particular area. The benefits of using online and offline promotions for a successful event, you need both. If people don't know about your event and you don't market well, no one's going to show up. And what's the purpose of planning a fabulous event but having no one there? I know for myself, a lot of things I'm old school. So, we're used to that word of mouth. I'm going to tell my girlfriends, I'm going to work my networks, and people are just going to show up because what I'm planning is awesome. But I've also learned, again, going with the trends and doing your research, I can have a Twitter following, a Facebook following, an Instagram following. If I use all those social media contacts, I can grab a whole audience and actually target a specific audience, the ones I want for my event, just by social media presence, just by effective marketing techniques. So in this day and age, to have a successful event, it's not good enough just to do word of mouth anymore. You have to be able to promote your event well, market it well, build up a hype and excitement about your event, and have people come. You don't know everybody. You want that new customer as well as that old customer, that repeat customer. So you need to use online and offline techniques to promote your events and make it successful. As far as what particular social media platforms and tools are effective for event promotion, personally, I love Instagram. They say a picture says 1,000 words. So with the right hashtag, the right picture, I can really promote a certain type of motivation or, a hype, build a hype for a successful event. Also, I love Twitter. The power of that hashtag between Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I can just put in a hashtag, put a picture, give a brief description, and have 100 people in 10 minutes. That I'm not friends with, they don't follow me. But just because of an effective hashtag and picture, in minutes, you can have all of these people and have their attention. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, definitely use those. Know what's trending as far as hashtag. There's a lot of different websites to help you do that. And then also have Eventbrite, because that's a place to drive them to once you tell them about your event. That gives them the addresses, that gives them the RSVP capability, and definitely allows you to also collect funds. And this day and age, everybody wants to use a credit card or PayPal or what have you. So Eventbrite ties it all together and allows you to take those registrations and payments and give them the information they need for that event. As last words of encouragement, if you want to just plan an event, or you have to plan an event, which is how most of us start, you've done this before. Think about it. You know, you helped your husband or your parents plan an anniversary dinner, or you select what restaurant you're going to, and oh, I need to get balloons, I need to get flowers. So stop thinking about how grand you want the event, because no matter how big or small, or how fabulous or simple, it's all a matter of steps. You've done it before. You just may need to add to it or bring other people in. You've been to events before. So you already have a lot of tools that you don't know you have. And definitely when you reach out to other contacts and family members and other resources, you can plan a successful event. But you have to start somewhere. So don't think big. Just be determined to take it one step at a time and reach out for help, and you will plan a successful event. Well, if somebody would like to contact me to coordinate an event, or just ask me some questions as far as my expertise or bounce some ideas, the place where you would go would be thejoyguru.weebly.com. Again, one word, thejoyguru, GURU.weebly, WEEBLY.com. That's my personal website for everything. It has my actual email address I use for business, which is aleshabrown@hotmail.com. First name ALESHA, Brown like the color, @hotmail.com. But if you go to thejoyguru.weebly.com, you'll get all my social media pages and all my contact information. So definitely feel free to reach out.